and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to, as you can see in the picture, it's the cartoon version of the big guy KG and myself, and we are welcoming you to Friday Eve, the place where everybody can relax. You take the rest of the stress from the week, you chill out a little bit. And this week is a little bit different because we got Easter this week. So we know some of y'all gonna be off tomorrow, or you're gonna be working from home. So you're not even going into the office tomorrow. You know what you're gonna do? I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You might have like a Zoom meeting or whatever, and everybody's getting into the Zoom. Y'all get in 10 minutes early. You know what I'm saying? You still got your bathrobe on, but you took your hair out so that way people don't think you walking around with your little bonnet on, right? You chilling. You waiting up there. You just put your name on the thing. You got your camera on. You know, you saying hi to Mike, hi to Tammy. There's Linda over there. Hey, Linda. Everybody got their little squares, and everybody's just greeting each other. And then somebody says, "What you do last night?" And he gonna be like, "Oh, I watched sports. Oh, okay, I watched this." And then there's gonna be one guy who's running late to the meeting. He's like, "Hey, I didn't get a chance to say what I watched. I watched the Thursday Night Throwdown, baby." Yes, that's what you're gonna say. And with that being said, let's get this out the way. Let's get back to normal viewing pleasures. I am the Midnight Rider. That is the big guy KG. We are here to entertain. And hopefully at the end of this, we won't have to put our hands up and ask you, are you not entertained? Because you will say, yes, I am. All right. And with that being said, what's the agenda for the day? So we got a little Audi cooks going on today. We got a little Final Four wrap up today. We got the men's Final Four wrap up today. We got those two things going on. We got a little thing called the Midnight Rider 5 making its debut. All right. It's going to come back here and there. And we also got to do something for Sunday. We got to do the mock rules. I forgot about that. And then anything else I'm forgetting, it don't matter because you're here for the ride. So what you got to do, take your seatbelt, think you're a DB, and you done lock somebody down. So you got to strap in and get ready to go on this ride that's called the Thursday Night Throwdown. I am the Midnight Rider. He's the host, the big guy KG. I'm going to let him take it from here.
Thank you, Midnight Rider, for that arousing introduction. Like that right there. That type of energy is why we able to do what we do, baby, on a good Friday Eve. First and foremost, how you feeling today?
I'm good, man. It's coming to the end of a long week. You know, it's in the month. So, yeah, man. So the first couple of days is always the longer days of the week. But, I mean, it wasn't too bad this week. We only had one real late night. That was Monday. Tuesday, we got out pretty regular. And then yesterday, we got out maybe a half hour later than normal. No, we got out about 6:30. So it wasn't too bad. Other thing, TV note, I have two favorite shows that come on this time of year. And they fight for time in my life because I record them and watch them in the middle of the night. Path to the Draft on NFL Network. And, of course, MLB Central. So some form of that is always on my TV sometime between 1 and 3 a.m. or 4 and 5:30, depending on which time I wake up.
Depending on which time he comes out of the first nap.
Yeah, exactly. I had a nickname. So I used to date this girl, and she was like a nocturnal person. So I'd call her like at 1. She was like, "Oh, no." It was like 2. I'd text her or whatever. She'd be like, "Oh, you through with your nap? You're into your sub morning?" Because she said it wasn't morning yet. It's your sub morning. So yeah. Because then I'll go back to sleep after that.
I got trouble just getting to sleep, period. So, oh man, if I could have my old schedule where I worked in the morning, but I didn't go to bed till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, get up at 3:30, take a shower, go back to bed for a little bit, then get up at 6, get ready for work, out the door by 6:30, at work by 7:15, and work all day. Come home and game. That was my life.
Good times, baby.
That was long before I had kids, though. Once I had kids, all that changed. I got responsibilities now. I got sponsitilities.
Exactly.
Now, where you want to start at first? Because we got a jam-packed show. So where you want to start at first?
Let's go with the news that shook the earth today. And I'll let you take it from there. Yeah.
Well, one Miss Audi Crooks has packed her bags. She says she's leaving Iowa State, and she is going to enter the transfer portal. To be quite honest, I thought about this and I was like, nah, she probably won't. But she did. And not only did she leave, I think like 7 or 8 other players left Iowa State in the last week. And everybody's saying, what's going on in Iowa State?
That's exactly what happened.
But 2 years in a row, Iowa State has been bounced in the first round of the tournament. And you can't come in, and they had such a great season. You can't come in and be pretty dominant. She has some big scoring outputs. But next thing you know, I think they were an AC, and you get bounced. Let me see. Her freshman year was 2023. So 24. So this was her junior year. So she's going into her senior year. The question is, where will she land? And I love that story you put up with the Lisa Stanfield. And around the world, yeah. Yep.
Hey, we gotta find out where she's gonna land. If I could have done it, I would have made a bunch of little hers and been like, where is Audi Crooks or something like that. But I didn't have enough time, no creativity, because I just thought about that as you said that. Now we got a little map. One of the stars is misplaced, one is in Florida. That's not really a destination we think for her, but we have one up in the Northeast. That's of course UConn. We got one in the South. That's South Carolina. We got one in the South, and that's Texas. And then we have one in the West Coast, and that's UCLA. And UCLA is one of those teams that they're going to lose a lot of players this year to graduation. So they're going to have to hit the portal hard this year to make up or try to get themselves back to where they were. So that's why they're the possible destination. Now, I read an article, 2 other places that were mentioned, and maybe this is because of her Midwest ties, and she may not want to leave the Midwest. One was a rival of Iowa State, Iowa. The other is Minnesota. I'm not sure what Minnesota has to offer, but those are 2 other places that I saw mentioned around her and for her in that situation. So it could be anything. I don't know. I just took, being the sports journalist I am, I took some of the clues that I saw and things that I thought would make sense. Because I think you make this move because you want to compete for a title. You don't want to go your whole career and not make a Final Four or not at least make an Elite 8. And when you see everybody else in your team leaving, you have no choice but to do it yourself. So that's kind of why I had that idea and that thought process.
Agreed. And the question is, where would she fit in at? I think coaching is a big thing, program. I think if she goes to UConn and she's under Gino Auriemma, petition for another year of eligibility, let her get 2 years at UConn, and we talking about the number 1 overall pick.
See,
she goes to play.
I said, the only reason I don't think she goes to UConn, because I think, yes, they lose Fudd, so they'd want a guard to replace Fudd. But I think Strong still has another year eligibility. And then the young lady, Quinn Nones, one of their wings, has another year. So I think UConn, if I had to make a power ranking, I think UConn would be 6th, just because it may not be a good fit overall. Now, it could be a way where you get Miss Strong out of the box with a block and more on the wing, even though she plays on the wing a lot. So it could work schematically that way, but I don't know if Gino would want to do that and kind of slow down what they do. They kind of like to get the ball out of the rim, get it up the court, and get it going. I don't think they want to wait for her to set things up. That's why I think UCLA, I don't know if she wants to go to the West Coast. I think that will work better for her because they play a type of brand where they will get it to their big and play through the big. like they're doing with Miss Betts this year.
And South Carolina has a habit of doing that as well.
Right.
Where if they got a big, they'll dump it down low and just let her go to work, and that'll work out for her very well. Did you know that she signed an NIL deal with Unrivaled?
No, I didn't. Know that.
Back in last year in July, she was signed by Unrivaled, a 3-on-3 basketball league, to NIL deals as part of the Future is Unrivaled class of 2025. So she's got money. She got a little money coming in, but she just need a little bit more exposure. But I would love to see her go to South Carolina. Hey,
let's not forget that thing also, because she's such a big talent. She's gonna garner some money in the NIL world too, going to some schools. So she could raffle herself off to the highest bidder, or she could go to the best situation and still get some money. She ain't got to get a whole lot. She can get some. So that's her two avenues right there. She can get a whole lot, she can get some, or she could end up somewhere in between. You know what I'm saying? Take her friends to Sizzler.
That's gonna be the theme tonight. We gonna Sizzler. That's the theme tonight. Like I'm gonna have to change that the title of tonight's show, the Thursday Night Throwdown. We going to Sizzler. That's the new title of the show. Anthony checking in, and he said, do you think the NBA is ever going to do that? Have a 3-on-3 league like the WNBA has with Unrivaled? No.
There's no need. The owners got too much money involved in that stake. That if injury happens in that, they're going to lose too much. You know, you don't want your $40 million guy playing in some league where he's going to make maybe 5 or 10, if that. You know, that's not work. I don't think the guys would do it. I mean, you see these guys complaining about playing 82 games. Why would they play another 10 or 12 in some other league? I just don't see it.
What's crazy, it's a lot of things that they used to do, the NBA used to do, that they don't do anymore. Like All-Star Weekend, you had what was the equivalent of the old timers game, where you had the older players that had just retired or been retired for a little bit come out and run a game. Bob Cousy used to give them fits. They had to stop that because Bob Lanier got hurt. And they said, yep, we're done with that. They used to have the horse competitions. We're done with that. NBA's not into that anymore. They did all of that, and they're not going to do that anymore. They're not going to do it.
That's a great question, though.
Love it. Anthony said, Midnight, by the way, I apologize for getting you started on Hannah a few streams ago. I'm a fan of her, but sometimes I feel she gets overhyped a little bit.
Oh, don't ever apologize. You got an opinion, baby. What's your opinion? I just know that's my girl. I mean, you're never going to change my thoughts on Hannah Doggo. I don't care what anybody says. I think she's she's probably in the top 3 if she's eligible to come out this year. I think Miles goes second because of Miles. Her height is better because I think Miles is about 6'1", and Miles rebounds and she'll get you the assist. I mean, but her Doggo gets you steals. So I mean, I don't know where I think it's going to come down to those two fighting to see who's the second player getting taken. Because I've heard Miles going second, so I don't know who the consensus one is. I haven't seen those conversations, but I heard Miles in one of the breakdowns I was looking at. They were saying that she's probably predicted to go second in the draft. So I'm thinking Hannah's somewhere in that mix too. And the WNBA needs guard play, good guard play.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. What built the league? Guards and stretch fours.
And I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you one more thing. KG, if Hannah Doggo, I think the Wizards may have the 3rd or 4th pick. If the Washington Wizards somehow select Hannah Doggo, we going to a Mystics game, brother. I ain't sitting in the nosebleed, but we going to a Mystics game.
We wouldn't have to.
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you look at the WNBA landscape, one thing they're missing is dominant bigs. There are no more Rebecca Lobos, Lisa Leslie's, Yolanda Griffiths, Rhonda Mapp, Tina Thompson. There are no more dominant bigs that can either put the ball on the floor, post you up, or shoot the three, because all of them could shoot, and they were 3-level scorers. We don't have that anymore in the WNBA. But I think that's coming back, and the league's going to go back to what it was, because you have damn, I can't remember her name. She's coming out of South Carolina. You have the young lady coming out of South Carolina. You got Crooks. You got a couple of ladies that's coming through the pipeline that are actual bigs. And, you know, Brittany Griner's going to get back on her grind and become a dominant big again. So
I think the women's game has kind of patterned themselves after the men's game and is going to a positionless game. So you're not going to get as much of your back to the basket dominant players like you're hoping for, because the game doesn't create them anymore. Like you can't have what you don't create.
Yeah.
Like you gotta plant the seeds, and right now you don't have any seeds, so you can't grow no tomatoes. You can't grow those green peppers in your yard. Oh, that was deep. Clip that.
I like it. Speaking of the WNBA, I don't know if you heard this, but I Googled it, and I Googled the source, and it's actually true. Apparently Angel Reese has expressed displeasure because Mac McClung invited her to train with the Chicago G League team.
Okay.
And she said to him, what was said is she said to him that you riding the bench. No, you in the G League, I'm a starter in the league. And if that's true, but they said that she didn't like how he invited her. And I don't know what's going on, man. Whenever somebody tries to help, it seems like they get rebuffed by WNBA players. Whenever fans show up, it's like, I mean, I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but it just seems like it's hurting the league. And I'll just be honest with that.
I didn't see it, so I'm not going to comment on it because I don't want to be speculating, because I like to see the story before I talk about the story for the most part.
I'll make sure I send it to you, and we can. We don't even have to talk about it. It's shock. Like it just popped across, and I verified it just now. So it's kind of hurtful, but Anthony got a couple of comments in here.
You know what? Hold on, let me see something. Let me see what we can do. Go ahead, let's go to the next topic. But or whatever we got for him. Let's do Anthony.
He said MLB does that during the All-Star week. They have the old-timer softball game. They used to have a Cracker Jack softball game every year, but they stopped that too. He said,
hold on, before you go on, you do remember, see, I don't know if you are old enough to remember when RFK used to house the old-timers games.
Yep.
And that was must view, must go TV, because my dad and my uncle would always take me, and I had to sit between them two. And my dad's guy was Al Kaline. My uncle's dad was like Harmon Killebrew. Of course, they loved Lou Brock and all those other guys. But yeah, that was crazy, man. Let me see if I can do this. So yeah, I used to love those games, man. I used to love seeing them. I think we saw Satchel Paige pitch one year. And that was just ridiculous because I forgot how old he was at that time. Go ahead. You can go next.
Shoot, I got the stories I've heard about Satchel Paige, man. If you never been in on the internet and you heard the interview that Buck O'Neil gave when he was talking about Satchel Paige. That bad mother, you know what? So
shut your mouth.
Anthony said, KG and Midnight, I'm getting arguments all the time. A whole bunch of Allen Iverson fans keep telling me that Dwayne Wade is the most overrated shooting guard of all time. Where's the Dwayne hatred for Dwayne coming from. I'm still trying to understand why Allen Iverson fans don't like Wade. Ignore the haters, man.
I
He
agree.
said Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, and Simone Augustus.
Let me see what we got here.
He said, I have an honest question. When we talk about the greatest point guards in WNBA history, we always talk about Diana Taurasi. Candace Parker are the first people bring up, but Candace Parker wasn't a point guard. But that's because most people are young to the league. They just got into the league maybe the last 10 years. So they don't know about Tamika Dixon. They don't know about Nikki Teasley. They don't know about Michelle Tisha Penicheiro and Michelle Timms. They don't know about Michelle Timms, Australian. One of the best handles you've ever seen. Her and Tisha Penicheiro. They don't know about them. They don't know about of course, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, put the counter up if you need to. They don't know about Kim Corral. They don't know about all the ladies that came before. They don't let me see, Tamika Dixon, Nikki Teasley, Ruthie Bolton Hollyfield. They don't know none of these names when they talk about the greats. What would happen? You all right?
No, I'm talking about that name you just brought up, Ruthie
Bolton Hollyfield.
I ain't heard that name in. Who?
Yeah, she played with the Monarchs.
I know who it is.
Yeah, badass. Jennifer Azzi is another point guard that nobody ever talks about. Jennifer Azzi, because her game is complete from A to Z. Loved her. Loved her in the ABL and in the ABL and in the WNBA. But most people don't. They talk about they love the WNBA. They love what it is now. Some of us have been there since the first game between the Sparks and the Liberty. Some of us can tell you we watched the first points in the WNBA scored live on TV. Like, I watched that live. I still remember that. You know? But Simone Augustus is not going to be brought up because nobody remember her. We remember her because we watched the league.
All right, hold on.
I'm not saying you don't. I say we remember her, but these casuals, that's what most WNBA fans have become now. They're casuals. They know the big names.
Let's go, baby. New segment.
Q and answer. I love it.
We get two more. You can keep commenting, but we're going to have to do two more questions. Then we got to jump on to the next topic. But I love the comments and I love the questions. But you make me think of this because you ask a lot of questions. I love it when you do it, dog. I hope you appreciate that, man.
And he said, KG, why is that you not consider Candace a point guard? That's what she was labeled when she came into the league. Point guard where? It's a power forward center, man. She's 6'3".
I don't remember being labeled a point guard. She may have been labeled a point forward, but I don't remember being a point guard.
Yeah.
So and leave this, just so you know, Anthony, I'm gonna leave this in our thing too. So
that's a bet. Maddie checking in. What's happening, Maddie? He said Canes helping out your Caps tonight, up 3-0 in the first, and they're playing Columbus.
That's perfect.
We need all the help we can get right about now.
Well, they back 5. I think they're back 5. And if they can get 2 tonight, it helps out the cause a whole lot because I think they're playing New Jersey tonight. So they got a chance. I mean, it's 2 of our favorite quotes. You know, at one point, you know, the playoffs hopes, you're like, I don't know if I see it. And then out of nowhere, Marty Schottenheimer walks into the room and said, there's a gleam, man. There's a gleam. And then the other person is you know, Alex Ovechkin holding a Samsonite briefcase, talking to Mary Swanson. And she says, only if you're the last person on earth. And he's saying, so you're saying there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Absolutely. And he said, you're hilarious, brother. That was on time, man.
I literally popped in my head. I was like, yo, because I know he's the main one in the comments right now, and we got some other people watching. Feel free to jump in, guys. This is interactive. we're not the experts, but we like to talk what we know. Because maybe you'll learn something from us, and maybe you won't. Maybe you think I'm a crazy person. You know, it's all good. Go ahead, KG. I'm sorry.
And that's so good because we're gonna switch over and we're gonna keep it with the women's basketball. And we're gonna go with the women's Final Four.
Hey! You know we gotta take a break in honor of last night's moment. Let's take a quick break.
No, you didn't. Oh, I thought you had. Oh, I thought you had that loaded. Oh,
nah, I didn't load it.
Okay, we can be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Thursday Night Throwdown. We are going to switch lanes. I think now we're going to get to our Final Four conversation. So with that being said, I'm the Midnight Rider. That's the big guy, KG. The big guy, KG, is going to take it away from here.
All right, let's drop in and look at the women's Final Four. These games will be played tomorrow night. Friday it's 7. So that's UConn versus South Carolina at 7 o'clock, and Texas versus UCLA at 9:30. Let's start with UConn, South Carolina. UConn's 6.5 point favorites. Over under is 135.5. So they're expecting this to be a pretty good game. But if I had to bet, how should I bet, Midnight Rider?
See, you put him in a situation where I don't do this. I don't bet single games. And the reason I don't like single games is because that's like taking the check down. Midnight Rider don't take check downs. I'm going for the house. I'm going to the yard. You know what I'm saying? It's this offense, if it's built in the true Southeast offense, we running deep outs, curls, slants, corners, and flies. All right. We ain't got time to dilly-dally with that little swing with the back coming out of the backfield. We ain't got time for all that. We trying if I was betting this, I personally would take the number in South Carolina the points, only because I either do that or I take the over. It's one of those two that I would do if I'm personally betting that. And the reason I take the points is because both teams are prolific offensive teams. Both teams can score. I'd take South Carolina in the number only because just in case we get a close game, South Carolina should be able to cover that. Even if they don't win, they cover. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Anthony said Connecticut is going to blow out South Carolina and Texas is going to win by 3, and it's going to be Texas and Connecticut in the finals. I don't think Connecticut is going to blow South Carolina out. Go ahead.
The funny thing is, I can see that scenario. I don't think it's going to happen, but I can see that. But I mean, I think this is going to be. You could give me 5 different scenarios, and I could believe all 5 of them. Like the alternate universe, you know what I'm saying? Where KG is Spider-Man, you know, Miles Morales exists, and the other 3 Spider-Men are happening. I think that's a possibility. I think we can have 5 different scenarios and they all play out, and we get different results. So the reason I'm so in love with this is because anything can happen. Like right now, we get to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. You know what I'm saying? We get to put the women and children to sleep and go looking for dinner.
Okay. The late game in prime time is Texas versus UCLA. Texas is a 1.5 point favorite. Over under is 132.5. This game is slated to be closer, but I believe in our in our pool we got Texas winning this. We got Texas winning it all, but
yeah. In mine I had UCLA, but I've flip-flopped on this game so many times that I'd probably, to be judicious to myself and and pragmatic about what I'm doing, I'd probably flip a coin. Like that'd be almost as judicious as me saying a pick. But I'm gonna go Texas. I know I said UCLA in the beginning. I probably said UCLA on Tuesday. I mean, when I was on with the unapologetic guys, but I really think Texas is something about their scores that just kills me. You know, the young lady Madison Booker. I think she's a threat. They have a point guard. I can't think of her name. Oh, Rory Harmon. She's like a 5'6" senior. You know what she reminds me of?
Who's that?
Reminds me of a smaller. When I mean small, I mean thinner. Ivory Lotta. Competes like a dog. Good point guard. Auntie, that's the name you might want to keep. She went here. Ivory Lotta is a good point guard. I thought about it before, but it makes sense. She's not a big scorer. She's a conventional point. And then they had this other young lady, Jordan Lee, who gives them 13 points a night. I mean, I think Texas has enough that they can make it, yeah. So my official pick is going to be UConn versus Texas. God, and I got to pick the winner?
No. Save the winner for Sunday.
All right.
Save
Are we
that
doing
for Sunday?
I sent you a message. Are we doing Sunday?
Yeah. As far as I know, I'm in. Programming note: WrestleManiacs are out. I'll announce it again later on. But the WrestleManiacs are out on Saturday, so we'll be showing double reruns. So you will get twice the fun, but it'll just be a rerun. Bars.
Yes, indeed.
But you talk about point guards and Ivory Latta. Elena Beard is another one. That was Ivory Latta's counterpart on Tobacco Road at Duke.
Well, wasn't she a 2?
She could run the 1. She ran the 1 in DC, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. Okay.
Odyssey Sims is another one that I love too. She went. Odyssey Sims is at Baylor.
If we're giving basketball players love, we got to give love to one of my favorite basketball players in the women's side, come out of University of Maryland, Miss Marissa Coleman. I know she's not a 1. She doesn't fit in this conversation, but like it's one of those situations where I got to be like my guys at the Mighty Sharp Barbershop. Every time we talk boxing, somebody got to bring up Joe Louis. Or every time we talk WNBA, I got to bring up Marissa Coleman. Marissa Coleman, she was 142. No.
She couldn't beat Kim Paraxas. That's his one. Every time we talk about basketball, you got to bring up Kim Paraxas.
Oh.
All right. If you
watch the show, you are in on every joke. I said if they watch us on a regular basis, they are in on all of these jokes. But if this is your first time, welcome to being initiated, baby.
If I gotta pick this one, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say it here at 7:49 on August 2nd, 2026.
34
I'm
minutes.
sorry, April 2nd. Thank you. April 2nd, 2026, Thursday. South Carolina upsets UConn tomorrow night.
Okay.
It's not going to be close. It's not going to be pretty. I'm talking they upset them 64-63.
That's close.
UConn's going to have a chance to win it, but they're going to shoot themselves in the foot by letting South Carolina hang around too long. Book it. 63-62, South Carolina wins. Texas is going to be in a dog fight. Huh?
You're just confident. This isn't Blue Magic territory. This is just I'm confident in what I'm picking.
I'm confident. I won't give it Blue Magic territory.
Okay.
Because I don't want to jinx it. So, but okay. Texas wins, and you're going the Texas game is going to be a barn burner, but it's probably going to be game of the night. So it's actually going to top UConn losing.
Okay.
Texas wins by 3.
Okay.
So, South Carolina versus Texas on Sunday night will be what we'll be talking about on Sunday. That we gonna give them something to talk about, and that's what's gonna be able to talk about. And we're gonna talk about love.
Oh, that comes up later on.
So that's my. I'm saying that now.
Write that down for Sunday. That's gonna be the next 5. Just put love, other 5. I know what you mean when you send me that.
All right, I'll make sure I put that in the chat.
Yeah, it's a running backs ranking without love. Live in the world without.
He said Cappy Poindexter.
Yes. Yo, Anthony, make sure you in the Sideline Junkies network, because I'm gonna try to post a graphic with our picks. So we're at 34 right around when the picks were made. So I want to go back to that and pull our picks and put it on a thing so we can show everybody what you guys have and everything. Oh, he's trying to get on your good side. He is trying.
My favorite point guard in all time in the WNBA is Courtney Vanderloop.
Anthony is kissing up the cake.
And Maddie said, just don't see anybody beating UConn. That's what makes it so. That's what makes it controversial. That's what gets the people going.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds provocative.
Hey, it's going to get the people going. But UConn, I'm not saying it's going to be the fault of UConn, but I just see this is going to be the game with Dawn Staley, for lack of a better term, cements herself in the Mount Rushmore of women's college coaches.
Okay.
She's going to take her spot next to the great Gino Auriemma and a lady that I miss so much, the late, great Pat Summitt.
Okay.
She's going to take her place next to them where she belongs. Just my thing. This is going to be the one that proves why she gets the money that she gets from endorsements and South Carolina. So, just thought.
Okay.
Now, switching over to the men's side. First up, you got Saturday, 6 o'clock, 6:09 tip-off. Illinois versus UConn. Illinois is a 2.5-point favorite in this one, as the Deborah Cox team of this Final Four. Because how did you get here?
Great shot against Duke.
Over under is 139.5.
UConn, Illinois. Last night we had a great conversation, I think, on this game, and we talked about the alumni having a bunch of guys that were versatile, being able to shoot the basketball. Not the greatest defenders, but made defending tough. And I think they outskill UConn in this ball game. I think UConn has the heart of a champion, but I think maybe this week, because of the luster that was on the win, maybe they don't have that extra gear left in the tank because they were celebrating and being celebrated. If Bill Parcells was their coach this week, he would have mousetraps literally all throughout the locker room, because he doesn't want you falling for the cheese. This team celebrated like maniacs the first 2 nights after it. So I know they probably got back to it in the only way they can with Hurley as their coach, but you got to wonder what's left in that tank in terms of just will and what you got left to give. And I know, when things come to pass and fruition, that tomorrow's too far away, and yesterday's already happened. And I know Danny Hurley's going to look at his guys and say, can you give me what you got right now? Give me everything you got right now, because that's all I need. And I don't know if that happens. I take the alumni. to win 75-70.
Well, let me put it to you this way. D Brown is not walking through that door. Luther Head is not walking through that door. Deron Williams is not walking through that door. The Illini, I think Jack Parkman said it best. The Illini don't have enough hair on their ass to win this game. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there now.
Yo, are you really quoting this? You can't quote the sequel of Major League, man.
Well, I mean, I like Parkman. I mean, Parkman was cool because all the women loved the shimmy. I mean, but I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think Connecticut wins it by 5.
All right.
I mean, you got to give something to the Northeast because the women are not gonna make it because they're gonna get beat by South Carolina tomorrow night. So,
did you know that a furniture store in Connecticut has this thing? So if both the women and the men win the national championship, basically, if you bought furniture from this like 30-day stretch, it might have been 20-day stretch, you will get your money refunded back to you as a rebate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just little things that sticks in his brain. Ooh, that's my next joint. It's gonna be too late for a special. I'm making a Harper joint. Go ahead.
Scooter said,
damn, right on you.
Give him something to talk about. See, Buffer Bonnie Raitt was actually once married to Danny and the main caddy in Caddyshack. So my comment is sports related. And he says, Buffer, or is that Cy Buffer, was actually singing, why does spell check not work when you need it? Because it doesn't. It never does. And Scooter said, Jack Parkman, your comment is also sports related. Hey, Parkman was the only hired gun in Major League too.
That's funny that I didn't even look down. I didn't even see him in the comments. And I was talking about because I was thinking about the next hat and t-shirt combination. And my next one is I think it's going to be the Hartford Whalers. And then lo and behold, you pull him up on the screen. That's funny. That's confirmation. So next week, there will be a Hartford Whalers hat and a Hartford Whalers t-shirt because it's too hot for hoodies, I think. I don't know.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Next up, you got Michigan versus Arizona. 1 versus 1. That's 8:49 on Saturday. Michigan's a 1.5 point favorite. Over under is 157.5.
I'd bet AZ in this ball game because I think it's gonna be a tight ball game. I think if AZ wins it, it's a 1 point situation, and I think if Michigan wins it, it's a 1 point situation. If AZ wins it, it's like a 4 point situation. So it doesn't really hurt you or help you when it comes to the number. That's why I would take AZ in the number, if that makes sense. Because I think AZ will make it a closer game if they lose. I think Michigan will lose by a possession. I'll put it that way. So if you don't get all of that rigmarole, I like Arizona to win this ball game. I thought Arizona was the best team I saw all year. I like Michigan. I like them a lot. I would have preferred for Michigan to be on the other side, and we get Michigan versus Arizona as the final, not as the semi. But I'll take it, and let's see what happens, man.
I'll say this. With Michigan, Arizona, I'm feeling Michigan, of course. And I just keep thinking about it every time they get this close. I said, you got to exercise the demons of 92 and 93. You got to exercise those demons because every time they get close, something happens and they can't never get over the hump.
Why don't you invoke the wisdom of Ramil Robinson and company?
What's that?
That's the team. That's the 89-90 team. I think it was like Ramil Robinson, Lynn Rice, Lloyd Vaught.
Yeah. Where they beat
get you some little stick figures and put them in front of you and around your TV. Get a little joke. You know what I'm saying?
And to be quite honest, that wasn't even like that was a good Michigan team. I always thought that the Fab Five was better, top to bottom, but they just couldn't get over the what's the name? But that's cool.
Fab Five was more talented. The Ramil Robinson, Glenn Rice team was a better team because Glenn Robinson at any point could put that team on his back and take you to the promised land, and he did.
That's true. So since 89, 92 and 93, they went to championships, but those have been vacated for reasons that we talked about on Tuesday. But they happen. No matter how much I want to.
New show rule. If the game's played and we played them, we do not believe in vacating because I watched the game happen. Now, unless you come around with one of them little wands they got in Men in Black, the game happened. We don't. The sideline junkies as a group does not operate in or acknowledge any form of vacating wins. If the game played and it happened, it happened. It's part of history. If you don't like it, be better at what you're doing.
I give you that. I just don't. Arizona's going to be a problem for Michigan, but I think Michigan gets past them.
Okay.
And goes on. They go on to face UConn. Right. And then UConn.
Sunday.
Okay. Because
Sunday.
When I tell you the magic that's going to happen if this matchup happens, if UConn and Michigan match up, and we talking about this for Sunday, for Monday's game, if that's the case, the magic that's going to happen at that game that could potentially happen, the roof going to explode off the building.
Sunday, 11 a.m. Sunday, Ross. I'm sorry.
Anthony said, out of all these teams that are left on the men's side, I love Michigan winning it all. I don't know what it is. I don't trust Connecticut, and I don't trust Arizona.
Okay.
And Scooter said Midnight Rider Hartford track is at 3.
So on the drive time, whenever Scooter mentions Hartford, they have a tracker for him or a ticker for him. So it's the Sarah Hates. That's one. Scooter with any kind of a Hartford reference is another one. So because I've mentioned Hartford like 3 times today, he gave me a track of my own. I appreciate that. That's when you get the bit.
Yeah. He said Bob's Discount Furniture is based in Hartford, Connecticut.
Just like that. When you get the bit, you get the bit.
Good point, Scooter. Apparently, Marcus Camby never played college basketball, and John Calipari never coached at UMass. Hey, if you go by record books, these things, it never happened.
Shoot, I know. What's that guard, Kellogg? I know he can shoot it. I saw that with my own 2 eyes. He was an assistant coach at Mason. Good Lord. I guess that's why I don't get all hyped up about this Steph Curry stuff. Because I've seen dudes do it. Like, I've seen dudes come down, get across half in a pickup game and just be like, and lace it. Like, that's why I just don't get the, like, Steph Curry changed it. No, he didn't. Cats have been doing this. But that's a whole different rant. But Cats have been doing this since the only difference was your boy Mark Jackson was like, hey, let's go. Because he knew that was his best chance. Was just to let Steph fly with it. But that's another thing, another day, another show.
No, let me give a quick rebuttal. Because you said you seen guys in pickup games do that. When I was a freshman in high school, all 5'6", 160 pounds of me thought I was a baby Dennis Rodman because I was in there banging with the trees. And it was a dude, he was a senior, and he would come down. And then once I got a rebound, I always flipped it to him ahead. And as soon as he crossed half court, he was pulling it. And I was always sprinting down court. I would always try to sprint down court, and just in case he missed it, it was very rare. But if he missed it and I got the rebound, he would come into the corner and he would catch it with a hop and then take it from the corner and knock it down. Every time. We did that for a full year, a full school year, every day in gym. And he was like, nah, you running with me. Let's go. Because he knew I was going to kick it right to him every time. And he was pulling that thing from beyond NBA range and knocking it down. Don't mean nothing to me. I've seen it before. And Anthony said he don't think the Fab Five team is a great team that won the championships Fab Five is all that matters, man. Nothing else matters. Steve Fisher put something great together. But the Fab Five wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for that 89 team.
Jalen Rose put that team together, if you remember the stories. No, I'm sorry. Jalen and Juwan Howard put that together.
I do. Because they got everybody together. I know.
Okay. Just checking.
And Scooter said Marcus Camby, Hartford, Connecticut.
Yo, we just killing out Hartford, Connecticut tonight.
He said timeout. I don't ever remember a Michigan team nicknamed the Fab Five.
Yo. He's my guy, man.
I love it. All right. Let's switch out of here. And no, let's take a break, reset, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk some draft.
Use a
Midnight Rider. Huh?
Use a show thing because I need to grab some ice. I ain't got to use the bathroom. I grab some ice.
Oh, you know I got it.
All right. I know we're using it anyway. And that's the longer one.
That's where you can take your time. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tonight, the bell rings and the stories begin. Welcome to the ride.
Boy, y'all almost caught me, boy. Woo! Welcome back, Sideline Junkies. Thursday Night Throwdown. The big guy, KG, the Midnight Rider. We got Scooter in the comments. We got Q and Anthony in the comments. We got people going on. We got Matty Ice in the comments. We're about to hit the next topic, something different, something new. It's all around draft season. So, KG, I'll drop it off to you.
All right.
And we got a banner for this, too. I mean, an overlay.
Okay. Because I was going to pull that up, but since you got it, you got that. The Midnight Rider 5. Explain to us, Midnight Rider, with the Midnight Rider 5. Is it like the list?
No, it's different from the list. The list is always the list. Okay? The list is proprietary property of QB rankings. So we can't put that into the list. So what this is just something I came up with because I was sitting around and I was thinking, all right, if I think Mendoza's 1, even though I think he's the best player in this draft class, and I think Reese is 2, but I don't think personally I think I'd put Reese behind these 5 players that I have on my list. Now, it's a list, but it's not the list. So what I did was just give you my preference. So if and I kind of did this from a commander's perspective, where if I'm on the clock, I know these 4 or maybe all 5 of these names may be on the thing. And if it's all 5 of these names on the list, are available, then the first person I'm taking is David Bailey, defensive end, Texas Tech, because that gives you somebody at a premium position. It fulfills a need. At 2, as of this week, because a lot of things I do fluctuate, I got Sonny Styles. I've heard enough about him from his pro day. I heard enough interviews where I think he's a complete linebacker. They talk about him being a leader, being able to be a captain for the next 10 years of his team. And if that's the case, and you can get that guy at 7, that changes the dynamics of your defense. Then you can put a guy like Jordan McGee as your weak side linebacker. Then you got Frankie Louvu. We're talking about 3 linebackers that we've never had 3 linebackers with this type of speed, this type of athleticism. And then the versatility is they could switch off a little bit. You know, McGee could be the middle, and you could put Sonny in the weak, depending on what they got going on. Or, you know, you can put Louvu as your weak side inside and Sonny Styles as your strong side inside. So I just love his versatility, and I love the mental compartments that I've heard people talk about. He's moved up my list because I thought he would drop out of the top 10. You know, we got to do our reverse mock too. We got to start that because the draft is, I think, a week sooner than we thought. So we're going to have to do a big mock on Sunday morning to get us into position, because I think we might only have 2 weeks. So, or maybe we do the mock throughout the course of the shows to make it that way. Each day we feature Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. We do the mocks that way. I don't know. You tell me what you think.
We do it that way. Probably 4 to 6 picks a show.
So look at the schedule and just map it out, because the draft is the 23rd. It's not the
that's that Thursday.
Right.
And then Maddie's draft special is that Monday, which will be that's 20. Yeah, Matt draft special is the 20th. So make sure you tune in for that, and then roll with us on Thursday during the draft.
No, the Maddie mock is totally different from our mock. So the mock we do is KG's mastermind of mocking the draft from pick 32 all the way up to 1. And if you ever try to do that, guys, there's no process elimination. Like, you're kind of guessing at who's going to be where. So you have to use alternate motives to help, like, position players. But I'm not going to go into all that. That's I'm telling you how we made the baby, and you don't need to know about that. I just tell you about the baby when they get here. Number 3 on my list is Jeremiah Love. You can't be afraid who you fall in love with. Love is the international language of this world, and without love, do we really exist? You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah Love can do anything and everything. And with this team, if you can put him, I think with the mind of Blau, if he were to become a commander, you'd see him in a slot. You'd see him as an outside receiver. You know, think about coming out with 12 personnel. You got 2 tight ends, and it's an early down, and you take Love and put him out to the outside. Now he's your furthest outside receiver, and you got him one-on-one with either the safety or a linebacker. Now you're creating mismatches. You're creating difficult situations for the.
Oh, did we lose? I think we lost the Midnight Rider for a second. I like what Anthony said. And he said, I think the Redskins should go with Caleb Downs replace a position they have a hard time replacing since Sean Taylor passed. See, that's the problem. That's the problem every regime has made. The mistake, I should say, trying to replace a generational talent like Sean Taylor. You
My
don't
bad.
replace him.
Nah, you're absolutely right. Give me a second. 4 on my list is Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. And then 5 is Caleb Downs, the safety. And I think he and Sonny Styles are 2 in the same. I think they're people that can command the center of the field and center your defense the whole time, and they can make things work for you. So I think that's where the whole thing comes into play with those guys. So I think, again, Downs, I think he's an every down safety. And I think Downs and Harris can be special together because Harris is also a quarterback of the defense. And if those 2 guys are on the same page, you won't see the communication problems that you saw this season with this defense. And that puts them a step better than what they were before. So that's where I think that scenario works out for them in the long run. Why don't you hit some comments? Because I got to step out for a second. I got a little emergency. So
Okay.
if you want to close us out, man, I apologize for that. But
it's all good. I'll take it to the last one and we can just we can close it out. Go ahead and do your thing.
All right, cool, man. All right.
That was the Midnight Ride of 5. Before we get out of here, let me just put this out there. I gotta say happy trails to a guy that doesn't really get a whole bunch of accolades outside of outside of Baltimore. That's Jerry Sandusky. Not the Jerry Sandusky you're thinking about. Not that guy. No, Jerry with a G. And he has been a part of Baltimore TV since 1988. He joined WBAL. And he announced his retirement yesterday. He announced he would retire to spend more time with his family. Now, little backstory. He's the son of a legend. And when I say legend, I don't throw that around loosely. Big John Sandusky, who was one of the masterminds and offensive line coach, and then later on defensive line coach of the Baltimore Colts that won Super Bowl 5. And he is the son of Big John Sandusky, so he has roots in Baltimore. And he's also had a stint in Miami for WSVN. That's where he started at, and then he came back home to Baltimore. One of his best catchphrases when the Ravens have already got the game locked up, the Hayes in the barn. So happy trails to him. And sad to see him go, man. But hey, everybody wants to take that time to go spend time with family. So time to wrap that up, B. Only thing that I got to say and wrap that up is Fernando Mendoza's pro day was yesterday, I believe. And everybody's salivating over the way he's throwing the ball and oh my goodness, so much zip, so much pop. And the first thing I said is he's patting the ball. Stop patting the ball. And a lot of people didn't get it, but I'm like, stop patting the ball. That's the only thing I got and wrap it up. Don't pat the ball, because if you pat the ball, you know what's going to happen. They're going to say that you can't play the position, because that's what happens when quarterbacks pat the ball. So, and as long as I've been alive, quarterbacks have been patting the ball. But if you don't get the reference, go back and look at Shedeur Sanders' pro day from last year and look at the comments that were made. Same throwing motion, same thing, but told him don't pat the ball, but nobody says it this year. So I guess patting the ball is good. Scooter said Washington has worked this offseason, changing their defense up. Love, with the assistance of the other recently signed running backs, would give them a lethal backfield. As a Notre Dame fan, Scooter, I would love this so much, man. I would love it, but I don't know if he lasts that long, but he might. With Kansas City signing Kenneth Walker, he might fall right into Washington's lap. And if he's there, I'd take him. That's just me. And Scooter said Jerry actually got death threats from people who thought he was Jerry. Yes, Yes. And even I think his Twitter handle is Jerry Sandusky. And in the bio it says Jerry with the G, not the other Jerry. And I remember not only catching Jerry Sandusky on TV, he used to come and call into Kevin Sheehan on 980, and he would do a segment maybe once or twice a month with Kevin Sheehan. That's how I really got acquainted with him. That was about 15 years ago, maybe a little bit, maybe longer than that, because I've been listening to 980 for well over 20 some odd years. So, but him and I can't think of my Philly guy. Only Philly fan, only person from the Philly market that you can ever talk to. I can't think of his name. Howard Eskin. That's the only Philly person from the Philly market that ever talks with some sense. So you got a guy from the Baltimore market and Jerry Sandusky, legendary. Then you got Howard Eskin from Philly market, legendary. And there was the only two guys from outside of the Washington market that talk with any sense. So that's it, man. Thank you all for joining us. Anthony, Scooter, Maddie, everybody, man. Midnight Rider had to jump, so thank you to the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy KG. This has been your Friday Eve show, which is the Thursday Night Throwdown. Remember, no Saturday Night WrestleManiacs on Saturday. We taking off. We'll be back on Sunday with the Sunday Rise. So until then, we don't do no overtime, baby. We are out of here.